Hi, welcome to another wonderful episode of Essence in the Word. Thank you for always tuning in and thank you for always coming back day after day, week after week to join us. Today we're going to be looking at an interesting topic, the wisdom of the Four Lepers, especially their statement of why sit we here till we die. Stay tuned. God bless you. At the edge of a dying city, where hope forgot to breathe, four men, marked by rejection, sentenced not only by disease, but by silence, until a question was born in the ashes of despair: why sit we here until we die? And wisdom awakened, not in comfort, but in movement. If we perish, we perish, but we will not remain. For sometimes, survival is not found in staying alive, but in daring to move toward the unknown. The wisdom of the Four Lepers. Alright guys, in the aspect of destiny, the Four Lepers wander around about the gates of destiny, about the gates of the city, thinking of what to do. A lot of questions in their mind. They weren't proud of where they were coming from a place of rejection. They weren't proud of where they are, a place of isolation and stigmatization. And then the uncertainty in the future, the anxiety that waits. But then the question of reasoning came. Therein lies wisdom. If we're coming from a place of rejection where we are not accepted, and we're in this place of isolation where we will perish, then why sit we here till we die? Why not try out the uncertainty ahead? Those things we fear. Second Kings chapter 7 verse 3 to 10 is where we're taking our stories from. And today we're going to be looking at a few lessons we can pick up from this event. Alright, the first one is letting go of your past. Your past can be your crown or your pain. But the truth is that if you dwell too much on your crown, celebrate your wins a lot, it will lead to complacency. If you dwell too much on your pain, remember these guys were coming from a place of rejection. You know, in those days, if you're leprous, you'll be isolated from the city, a place where even your own rejects you, a place where you are isolated, you are kept to, you are stigmatized. That was their past. That was where they were coming from. The pain, the rejection, the trauma, the disappointment. But then you can't dwell there because it hinders your progress. It causes stagnation. Why sit we here till we die? So one thing I will tell you today is that yes, your past is part of your story, but you're the protagonist. And if you're still alive, it means that the story isn't done yet. The story is not completed. You have the power to act more, to act out. And the another good news I will tell you in this is that the author isn't done writing as long as he kept you alive. God isn't done with you yet. Don't give up. Don't dwell on the past. It has happened. But then the story has so much more than just what we've experienced. So go forward, advance. Don't dwell on it. Yeah, secondly, just like I was already saying in the previous one, all these things boils down to decision. And you may have heard me say before that your decision over time determines your destiny. So if you don't decide to move forward, you cannot actualize destiny. So your destiny hinges on the decisions you make. What you end up achieving in life, who you end up becoming in life, is based on your decisions over time. So what are the decisions you are making today? What are the daily routines, the things you decide to do? That's what determines who you end up becoming. And this is more like the third lesson, which talks about waking up. The best way to achieve a dream is to wake up. So you can dream all you want, wish, desire all you want, but if you don't wake up, that dream cannot be actualized. And remember, for the second lesson, if you stay silent, stay undecided, procrastinate, stay lazy, all of them are also decisions. So that you didn't move forward doesn't mean that you've not taken a decision. It's a decision you've already made, whether you claim it's unconscious or unintentional. All of them are decisions. So the world, of course, is not a wish granting factory, and of course, if only wishes were stars. So you have to move forward. You have to take a conscious step forward. So act towards what you wish for. Stop the wishful thinking and act towards it. Act towards your imaginations. It's good to dream big, imagine, and everything, but are you acting towards it? So it's not even about the lack of preparation. I want to pay more attention to details. Sometimes it's fear that is holding us back. Sometimes it's anxiety, the uncertainty. But you have to take a bold step. Take the risk. Go forward. Don't overcalculate things. It's good to count your calls, take record, prepare. But don't overcalculate. Go forward when you need to. Then the fourth lesson here is the lesson of time. Of course, if you remember when I was talking about destiny, I said your destiny is a product of your decision over time, which means time is very important. These lepers went in at twilight, and if you look at the story very well, I think verse 8 or thereabout, you see that the Syrians left the camp at twilight. That was when the sound came. So your relevance in life and your relevance in destiny is not just attached to your decisions, but the timing. Imagine these lepers had delayed, and of course there will always be a way out, another way for God to deliver his people. And then another person discovers the absence of the Syrians in the camp. The four lepers won't be remembered in our story today. They may actually be the villains of this story, or the bad examples for this story. So do not be a villain in your own story. Be the protagonist of your own story. Take a step and be discerning. Discern seasons and apply the wisdom of God in acting per time. So take your decisions, but don't just take decisions. The timing also matters. Discern times, discern seasons. Remember in book of Chronicles, say the sons of Issachar, or the men of Issachar, who understood times and understood what to do. So understanding the time is very important. Time, in fact, affects everything we do in this world. So everything you do, for efficiency's sake, you must mind the time, you must mark time, you must ensure that you do it at the right time. Ecclesiastes says everything is beautiful in its own season. Ecclesiastes 3:11. So doing things at the right time matters. At twilight, possible time of weakness of the enemy, they had to go. And that was a time that was a Kairos time for Israel. And that was a time also God chased away the Syrians. Then the last one, which is very important, in as much as it's a bit hidden in this story, is enlarging your capacity and securities, getting securities. When you hit the opportunity, do not just relax. They knew this wisdom came. The four lepers, they said, no, we can't just stay here and marry and eat, if not just for the sake of helping other Israelites. There is another clause to this. What if the enemy returns? So they had to meet the porter of the city. So what I'm trying to say here is, invest in relationships, help others win. Don't just win alone. In fact, your winning, your victory, your success is complete when you help others win. So that's why you see most successful people, they want to give back to the society. So what are you giving back to the society? Don't just achieve it alone. And why did I mention security earlier? When you help others win, most times they serve as the securities that helps you sustain what you have, or sustain your growth journey. If not for, if they don't just serve as they don't just serve as sustain as people that sustain you in case perhaps anything happens. They are also the people that can be a ladder for you to climb back. Probably if you by any way something happens and you had issues, those people you've invested in will still be part of your rising. It will help you climb back. That is, so if for any reason you are looking for if for anything, these are the two reasons why you should help people. I'm not saying that every helping people should be with ulterior motives, but in your season of gathering, in your season of plenty, invest on others, invest in relationships, invest in helping others win. It's very important. And lastly, literally, always think about securities when you win, when you gather in your state of Mary. Don't just enjoy and relax or entertain yourself. Think of security, secure yourself, invest in things that will secure your wealth. I'm talking about spiritually and also practically. Look for investments to make, look for things to where to secure your money or to secure your wealth. In whichever form, make sure that you invest in securities and invest in relationships, build capacities that will help you sustain what you've achieved, that will help you sustain your opportunities. Yeah, that's all. That's the fifth one. So I will take it from the beginning. I'll just do a recap of what I've said so far, and then we call it a day or a week because it's a weekly day thing. So the first one, of course, we're talking about the wisdom of the four lepers. Why sit we here till we die? 2 Kings chapter 7 verse 3 to 10. The first one is about letting go of your past. Some of us have dwelt so much in our past and you just have to let go. I remember in the Bible, God told Moses, you've dwelt in this mountain for so long. Then the second one, decision decides destiny. Your destiny is a product of your decisions per time. Then the third one, take actions. Don't just dream, don't just imagine. Yes, those things are beautiful, but take steps, next steps towards the gate and eventually cross the gate. Look beyond the uncertainties and cross the gate. Then the fourth one, time is important. Be efficient with your timing, discern kairos and discern important moments. Act by the wisdom of God. Then the last one, which is what we just discussed earlier, is building capacities and things that will help you secure the wealth you've gotten. Invest in securities, invest in relationships. God bless you. Thank you for always having me, always listening, and always sharing. See you next Friday.